Coach, you talked about during your press conference being a part of UIW Incarnate Word, and you said that quiet is kept. It was secretly a robbery with Southeastern, so now you're over here on the dark side. How exciting is this moment for you and your family?
That's unique. Obviously, anytime you move within the conference, but especially against someone we perceive to be as our rival, we've had some epic games, and like I said, Ayla and I had a ton of respect for each other and actually became pretty good friends over the last couple of years. So when we play them twice next year, especially at UIW, that's going to be fun.
And still being a part of the Southland Conference, how important was that for you during this search, if you will?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it gives me a little bit of a leg up. I know the competition. Obviously, I've scouted and coached against them the last 6 years, so know their personnel, know how they their coaching styles and that kind of thing. So I think it gives me a little bit of an advantage, going into conference play.
Speaking of advantage, having a leg up, we talked about this off camera. 12 20-win seasons, and then 8 NCAA tournament appearances as well, just throughout your 36 years of coaching. How impressive is that to Southeastern?
Well, I hope that it caught their eye a little bit, but obviously I've done it at a variety of different levels, both Division I, Division II, spread out all over the country, in the course of my travels as a coach. But, every place I think you pick up something, but honestly, you also learn from your players, and that's one of the things that, there's things that our players, they'll do something in practice during a game, like I never thought of that, just something within the play as well. So I've been extremely fortunate to be surrounded by really good people.
Now, of course, every coach has their recruiting footprint, of course, and you talked about having the challenge of having to recruit almost an entirely new roster. How much are you looking forward to that challenge?
I am. At least, there is something to be said for that you kind of get to shape the roster, maybe the way that you would like and try to recruit players that fit your style. Clearly we have to quickly, make some inroads in Louisiana. That was obviously the lifeblood of Ayla's success here. UIW, we were largely Texas-based. We'll still recruit Texas, of course, but, it's going to be critical, obviously, to put together a staff that they can make some inroads, like I said, from a recruiting perspective, and particularly in this part of the state. Having
coached against this team for years on end, what do you remember, I guess as a whole, of this team?
They play hard. That was the thing that, they might not have necessarily always been the most offensively gifted team, but they played so hard, it made up for it. And I'll just be honest, as a coach, I don't know that there was a team that we struggled more against in half-court offense than when we had to play Southeastern Louisiana, just because of how well they defend, how physical they were, how long they were, how athletic. And again, just like I said, they played really hard, and that's something that, I'd like to think most people would say the same about Coach Dow teams, from a defensive perspective. So, again, it became of a rivalry and almost a mutual admiration, that we had for each other over the years.